Jai Hind and a very good morning to our guest for today, Mr. Nitin Gupta, our MD, Dr. Jai Singh, faculty members, and all the students of IIEBM. I, Anchal Kumari, MC for today, accord you a warm and cordial welcome for today's session. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce Mr. Nitin Gupta. Sir, may I have your permission to proceed? Thank you, sir. Mr. Nitin Gupta is the CEO at Omnia Toys as well as the director at Dreamplast. Sir has 27 plus years of work experience in leadership positions such as general management, program management, sales and business development in multifunctional, multicultural and diverse industrial profiles as well as segments. He has worked with companies of repute, both Indian as well as multinational, Larsen and Turbo, Fiat International, Como Spa, Group Happy Lamp, JBM Group, and now with Dreamplast and Omnia Toys. He has also worked in diverse product and industry segments such as construction equipment, automotive and industrial production system, commercial vehicle components, auto components, plastic food packaging, as well as toys. Most of the companies that Sir has worked for have been amongst leaders in their own segments, either in India or worldwide. Such specialities include general management, program management, business development, as well as startup management. He also has a particular exposure of working in complex matrix organizations as well as in MNCs. Sir is also well exposed to startups, which generally involves challenging, complex macro and micro activities such as legal, banking, taxation, loans, commercial, to name a few. Sir likes being involved in situations that are not monotonous in nature and at the same time challenging. In recent years, he has particularly gathered experience in starting up the Indian subsidiaries of the multinational organizations. Now, without further delay, I would like to invite Mr. Nitin Gupta to address the young minds present over here.
Morning, everyone. Morning, sir. It's nice to hear that great aggressive voice. Just a second, let me plug this in. Great. So I'm here I've been invited here to talk about the manufacturing industry. I represent toy industry, and I've had manufacturing experiences prior to toy industry also. So maybe a little bit of my extension of my introduction first. Thank you for the beautiful introduction before. Just to add to it, so yeah, I did my engineering from IIT Varanasi, and after engineering, I was a mechanical engineer, and most of that was in 1996, and most of the students at that time wanted to move to IT industry. But since I was a mechanical engineer, I had a passion for mechanical engineering and manufacturing, so I decided that I will stay in this industry, in manufacturing industry, but I will try to excel in the same industry and try to be at par with my other college friends, if not better, in terms of career. So I tread my path accordingly, moved into manufacturing industry, but I took a decision that I will try to be a techno-commercial guy. So I chose options of business development, project management. A large part of my career was in project management. Project management gives a 360-degree. You are in the center of the business because everything moves around you, or you move everything around. And you are also the Spock for the customer. So you are handling the financial part, you are handling the customer relationship part, you know what is going on in production, etc., etc., etc. So thanks to all those moves, I rose up in the ladder, and I got the leadership position finally in this company called Dreamplast. For me, this was a big career move because having worked for half of my career in automotive industry, thinking about moving to a very much unknown industry like a toy industry. I knew nothing about toys, I knew nothing about plastic injection molding. Toys we make are made of plastics. So coming from automotive, and this was a big risk for me, but I had, as I said, project management gives you, it's your project management is like you're running your own small little company within the company. So took up that challenge, and then this is my 14th year now of this company. From zero, set up 7 factories. In the first 8 years of the company, handling 2,500 people, plus 0 to 200 crores just before COVID. So in the first 10 years itself, we reached 200 crores of revenues of this company. And I'm very passionate about working with youngsters. I love working with youngsters because it makes me feel younger also. And it also, I like coaching. I like training. I like to give knowledge. I firmly believe that knowledge grows by giving. So I enjoy when youngsters work fast, and that helps me also keep my pace. So that's a little bit of introduction, and then I'll talk a little bit about our industry and a little bit about our company, and then if you have any questions, feel free. So which way should I point this? Yeah, all right. So toys play a major role in developing children's minds by improving. Maybe I'll perhaps stand over there because if I have to point it by improving their thought process and decision-making ability. Toys are in different categories and subcategories: brain training, physical, promotional, collectibles, and subcategories. Could be preschool, dolls, racing cars, figurines. You all have been children, and India has not been traditionally a very great ecosystem of toys. Outside India, in the Western world, toys is for example, or rather, let me say, if your parents wanted to give you something, they would rather give you a book than a toy, if you recall your childhood days. But times are changing now. The newer generation considers toys to be an important part of brain activity and development of the child. So this is catching up in India as well. There are diverse brands available, huge number of brands. It's such a big industry. Like in automotive, if I ask you how many automotive companies are there, some of you would be able to easily tell at least 90% of the names. But if I ask you the question, how many toy companies are there, it's in hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands. This is the kind of diversity of this industry where tens of thousands of players are there. Imagine tens of thousands of players, and imagine each of them launching every year some or the other new product. So imagine the number of products, number of toys, variety which is available in the market. How are toys sold? Toys are sold from the conventional, traditional brick and mortar stores, and now recently e-commerce. The market size of this industry is $130 billion, and it's growing more than 7% year on year, CAGR. It's a very unique industry in another way. Think of any industry, think of any product which is comparable to a toy. It will be very hard for you to imagine a toy is something, it has lots of colors. Toys have lots of colors. Toys have play value. Toys have packaging of toys is as important or more important perhaps sometimes than the toy itself, because the first thing that you go and look at is the packaging. So therefore, it's a very unique industry. It's very hard to think of any other industry where all these combinations are necessary, or all these combinations make it work. Safety. We know that car industry, for example, automotive industry is highly, there are very high stringent safety norms in automotive, but toy industry is as stringent, if not more, because in toys you're dealing with children. Automotive you're dealing with adults, but toys is children, so it is toy safety, child safety is they're much more stringent norms. So it's from the outside it looks it may look like toys, okay, but let me tell you, हम खिलौने बनाते हैं लेकिन ये बच्चों का खेल नहीं है. How does this industry work? So this industry is very also strange. Car industry में, automotive में, I speak about car, automotive because most of you, I mean, for a normal individual, automotive industry, car बड़ी जल्दी समझ में आता है. But here it is a cycle from inventor. It starts from an inventor. So any of you can also be an inventor. If you are a creative person, if you are a nice creative person and you build and you sketch out a toy, you are an inventor. So there are inventors in this industry who are called as freelancers also, or who are called as creatives also. So these creatives create, then they will approach a toy company, a brand. The brand will say, yeah, a concept looks good. So from the concept, then they will say, okay, get a CAD design done, get a mechanical drawing done, or a product design done. So it goes to a designer. So the brand then approves. When the brand buys the design, then the brands do not manufacture themselves, because manufacturing requires a lot of investment. Brands are happy that product हमारा हो, लेकिन बनाए कोई और. So the brand gives it to a manufacturer, which is where we, Omnia Toys and Dreamplast, come in. We are the manufacturer. And then it goes to a distribution cycle, it goes to a retail, ends up into a retailer, and finally the consumer. What are the types of retailers? So the retailers can be direct toy retailers. Hamleys, you must have heard of the name Hamleys. Right, so Hamleys is an exclusive toy retailer. But toys can be sold also through modern trade, through brick and mortar stores, which are like the large, like if you go to a Lifestyle or a Crossword or a supermarket or a superstore, you will find some corner which will have toys, a toy section, let's say. So these are the modern trade. And then the general trade, the typical small little shops, शहरों में, गाँव में, दुकानों में, there is always some section which has toys. And then finally e-commerce, Amazon, Flipkarts of the world. So this is where, these are the places from where consumers buy. Why is toy industry in the news in India? Post-COVID, the government, the Prime Minister announced that we will now bring toys into focus. He launched the Make in India program, Make in India Toys program, and a lot of impetus was given, a lot of talks happened. The BIS, Bureau of Industry Standards, toy industry was made mandatorily BIS. So if you had to manufacture and sell in India, till yesterday or before this, there was no need of an ISI certification or a BIS certification, but it became mandatory, which meant that all the industry had to suddenly start becoming organized. They had to get in place the quality norms and get these certifications. The custom duty was increased. It went up from 10% went up to 60%. So 6 times. So in order to create a deterrent to China, 6 times import duty was increased. All this resulted in the whole Indian toy industry suddenly in 2020 started booming. And it got a huge jump after that, but it was already growing. But 300% growth in the last 9 years. 300% in the last 9 years. Just in the last 9 years again, the exports increased from 36 to 150 million. That's 5 times, 4 times. The overall industry, which is 1.5 billion, you remember the previous slide where I spoke about 130 billion, which is the entire global industry, 130 billion. India is only 1.5 billion. But India is growing at such a speed of 12% CAGR that in 5 years it will be 3 billion already. So this is the industry, the alternative industry for the future. The government is also going to launch, add toy industry into the PLI scheme, production link incentive scheme. So now, after some general industry, let me quickly take you through about our company. We are part of the Sonino Group. Sonino Group is an Italian company, Italian group. It is in the north of Italy, founded by Mr. Sonino, the father, etc. And we are present in 10 locations across the world, 5 locations in Europe, 3 in India, 1 in Hong Kong, and also in Canada. I didn't put Canada because then the slide would become bigger. And a global turnover of 120 million euros. The Indian operations is we are 100 Dreamplast. We have 2 companies. I represent 2 companies, Dreamplast and Omnia. So Dreamplast is a 100% subsidiary. I started the company in 2010. I'm a professional. I have no shareholding in the company, so I was hired, and it was a startup situation for me. We got Kinder Joy chocolate. Everybody has seen Kinder Joy, right? So Kinder Joy toy, that was our first business. Kinder Joy toys, the promotional toy that you see inside it. And just imagine that there was a time in 2015, that year, when we were making 1 million toys per day. 1 million toys per day. Kinder Joy toys. It's an incredible number. 1 million per day. And each toy is made up of 4 or 5 parts. So 5 million, 50 lakh, 50 lakh pieces of plastic injected pieces every day. This 1 million was also not just 5 million pieces were not just injected. It went through the whole manufacturing cycle. Injection, post-injection, some decoration, some eyes, some nose, something, some packing, and daily shipment, export. So imagine the whole manufacturing cycle to move 1 million pieces, 1 million toys every day. So this was the incredible number that we achieved in 2015. From the beginning of the company till 2018, the first 8 years of the company, we set up 7 factories. Almost on an average, every year we were setting up 1 factory after another. Good manufacturing practices is what you might have. I don't know whether you guys have heard of GMP. So people know about ISO. People talk about the usual certifications. We follow GMP because we are an industry which provides a toy which comes in contact with food. So good manufacturing practices are necessary. You can visit our factory. You can eat from the floor of our factory. It's kept so clean. It's not a pharmaceutical company. A pharmaceutical company is at another level, but it's close to that. A toy company, imagine being close to having conditions like a pharmaceutical company. And thanks to all these efforts and the growth that our company had, we signed a joint venture with Reliance last year. Reliance bought Hamleys in 2019, and after buying Hamleys in 2019, Reliance wanted to find a manufacturing partner, so they chose us, and we created a joint venture company called Omnia Toys, and that's how I represent Omnia as well. Our vision to be a preferred toy manufacturer for leading brands and to be recognized as an organization that encourages a free flow of communication, ideas, and innovative thinking. Our mission is to be a learning organization, and that's how we had interns from your college, 4 interns from your college, and I'm sure if you talk to them, they'll vouch for it. Right? Sitting in the front. And we have values which we call it impact. So we have 2 factories in Chakan in Pune and another factory in Baramati about 100 kilometers away from here. We have all these certifications. These are the important certifications that a toy company, toy manufacturer must have. Even if we are not directly working for a Walmart, but maybe our customer is selling to Walmart and asking us to ship to Walmart. So even if we are shipping to Walmart directly, we need Walmart needs to certify our factory. If our customer has taken a license from Disney and using that license is getting something manufactured by us, then Disney has to certify our factory also. So we not only have our typical certifications like ISO, etc., but we also get certified by the retailers and the licensors. Besides this is also an industry which pays a lot of attention on social and ethical norms, compliances, the law of the land, compliances to the law of the land. I'm happy to inform you that in India, it will be very hard to find another company which will be so high on social and ethical compliance as our company. And this means a lot because following the law of the land, paying the dues to the customer, paying minimum wages to your employees, respecting all the norms, compliances, etc., is not easy to hear about in India, right? We have a huge range of customers in domestic, international, 2.5 lakh square feet, 2,600 people plus working in our company. So these are category-wise what we do. Dolls is one category. These are the crybaby dolls. Has anyone seen them? These are the Masha dolls that we make. And preschool toys. Different games and puzzles. The one at the bottom, Tacto. Tacto is a conductive, is a game which you play on your touch screen. So the material of the, stylus? Stylus. The rubber on the tip of the stylus is a conductive material because the conductivity that you have in your hand goes through the stylus onto the screen, and that's how you are able to move. If you move your finger on your touch screen, you are able to do that because of the conductivity that is there in your hand. So if you are using a stylus, then the stylus has to pass that conductivity. So this game has objects which are made of that material of the stylus. Racing tracks, then Paw Patrol, some small little cars. This Paw Patrol is to give you an idea about manufacturing, what it means. So it looks very simple, right? It's this size, 2 inches. That's the size. But we produce 15,000 a day, each of them. Total 15,000 a day. But each object has about 20 decoration operations. So we call them decoration. So if there's an eye, that's a deco. If there is a brown paint over here, that's called as a deco. So these are called as decorations. So once you make the plastic part come out, after the plastic part, on that you have to decorate. That's the speciality of toy industry. If it's just plastic, then nobody would probably buy it. You have to make it colorful. To make it colorful. So we do 20 operations on each object into 15,000. That's 3 lakh operations. So we have 100 painters. Probably there are 100 people over here. 100 students. Imagine these number of people doing spray painting every day. This is the scale at which work is being done. In Chakan, close by. Some bath toys, the figurines, rattles, and then the Kinder Joy promotional toys. We also do some packaging for Ferrero Rocher. We have other figurines under development. These are pencil toppers. Some more dolls, bubble blowers, bath toys, preschool, tacto. Some action figures. These ones are adult. These are for adults. So there are adults also in this. Toys just are not just bought by kids. They are also bought by adults as collectibles. They are collectors. And then are the blasters and water guns. So we are into a lot of. How do we do product development? Because you can imagine so many products made, so there has to be a product development approach. When we get project engineer is nominated, then team, and it's a whole. So within the organization of manufacturing, there is also a small organization of product development which follows a project management approach. Well, all this I think is technical. What are the kind of operations that we do? Molding, rotomolding. Rotomolding is when you have a hollow piece. It's done by rotomolding. Then welding, joining two pieces together, or plastic pieces, is done by sonic welding, ultrasonic welding. And then other several deco operations. Molding machines, plastic injection molding is defined by in terms of tonnage of the machine. So how big is how much tonnage of machine is required. So we have the molds. Mold is the heart of the machine. So quality control. These are some pictures of our lab, various quality control instruments. Foreign body prevention. So we have to prevent from insects, from dust, etc. And now some pictures of our factory. I'll just run through them. This is the spray painting area. So we have 100 people, 50 per shift. Assembly line. So even a toy can be very complex because it can have plastic, it can have a dress, it can have electronics, it has packaging, it has metal parts. Uh, a doll like this has a BOM, bill of material, of 100 parts. 100 parts make this doll. And some automation. And some machines for maintenance. So, but yet there are some challenges. In the end, I'll conclude my presentation with last two slides. What are the challenges? Everything is not easy. It's an industry which is full of some prejudices, customer perceptions, that toys, as I said in the beginning, that parents, country to country, perspectives change about toy industry. In India, the perspective was different. टॉय बिगाड़ देगा बच्चों को, खिलौना दिलाएंगे तो बिगाड़ देगा बच्चों को, किताब दो. So there is a problem of perception. Economies of scale. So India, being a growing, India is ready to take to take on the challenges of toy industry, but our own clients, they are still tentative because they have enjoyed 4 decades of manufacturing from China. So we are competing with the world like China. China, out of the 130 billion market, China is 60%. So China contributes to more than 60% in last 4 decades. So the ecosystem that China has developed in the last 4 decades, which customer will be willing to give you even 4 years? So we have to really speed up and upgrade ourselves and match the quality, match the speed, match the efficiency, match the pricing, and match also the technical skill set of the Chinese. Investors and designers. So over these years, naturally, China also has an ecosystem of investors and designers. There are colleges around. In India, there aren't any specific skill centers or courses for toy design. So this is something that the industry is talking to the government and hoping. I think which is the design college in Ahmedabad, I'm just missing the name. National NID Ahmedabad. The NID Ahmedabad is thinking of introducing a toy design course. So the creatives, the people, I mean, it's not that Indian public lacks creativity, but it's something inherent which has to come out. The more and more this ecosystem will develop, the more and more creatives will come, and will also not just have upward integration but also a downward integration. So skill development centers, training institutes, and as I said earlier, syllabus and courses, compliance and certification. So we are luckily one of the company which is very high on compliance. But if you're talking about the general toy industry, it's a mix of organized and unorganized sector. Technology, I spoke about, and making tools, volumes, labor costs. If you have to compete with China, we have to keep. If a customer is buying something from China, customer means not the consumer. It's the brand. If the brand is buying something from China for $100, why would the brand pay more to me. But if I do my costing, I would probably be not able to match China. My raw material still comes, some of my raw material still comes from China. My labor is not as fast as we have seen videos where Chinese, how fast they work. We Indians are not yet up to speed. So my cost will be naturally more than 100. So that's the challenge. If I have to get that business move to India, if I have to convince my customer, if the toy industry has to grow, then it has to compete very hard with the Chinese costs. So therefore, we are hoping that the government also gives us some incentives. So raw materials, there are some raw materials because it's a very compliant industry. Safety, toy safety is so important. Therefore, some raw materials are still not available in India, so they have to still be imported. Which means import is, therefore you are susceptible to fluctuations. Electronics, critical, like Hot Wheels car has a die cast bottom. The chassis of the Hot Wheels is a die cast. So while we make plastic toys, but if a customer comes and tells us to make a Hot Wheels car, we may not be able to do it. Nobody in India may be able to do it because the die cast, that kind of ecosystem is still a challenge. Or electronics. So now last year the Prime Minister announced 70,000 crores as outlay for the semiconductor industry. And that semiconductor industry means finally it will come down to people, entrepreneurs willing to invest in semiconductor industry, which will bring, which will get people into starting up business in electronic PCBA industry. And then the final nail in the coffin, as they say, is the chip, which is, guys must have read, Taiwan still controls a lot of chips. So imagine the chip thing story we all hear about, Taiwan and all that, because we relate to it because mobile phone में chip लगता है. But हम भी affected हैं उससे, और car industry भी affected होती है उससे. White goods industry is also affected. So just as those industries are affected, so are we. And the geopolitical, so the war, anything happens in the world, geopolitical situation, it does impact the toy industry. Now, if Russia and Ukraine war is going on, it affected us because Russia is a big consumer market for toys. Masha, we were selling like hotcakes, made from India, supplied to Russia. But now suddenly Masha is dropped. So geopolitical situations also affect toy industry. That's it. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, please feel free. Yeah, anyone, please.
Jain, sir.
Yeah.
My name is Shashank Sanodia. Sir, I want to ask that being an mechanical engineer, what idea made you to go with the toy industry, sir?
Yeah, I was passionate about manufacturing in general, and I wanted a leadership position, first of all. I got this leadership position as a CEO of the company, opportunity. I was very good in Italian language also. I speak Italian language, and this company was Italian. So engineer भी है और combinations work out हो गया. And then I was bored of automotive. I wanted to get into something exciting, something new, challenging, risk appetite भी था. So I took the risk, and it turned out good.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, please. Anyone? Yeah.
Substituting toys with online games.
Yeah, so honestly, I won't have a full answer for that because I work not at the upstream of the chain of the industry, but I work somewhere in the midstream as a manufacturer. But I can say that online gaming or mobile phone, etc., does affect toy industry. Uh, but time will tell. I think parents have also started realizing that at the early age of childhood, the effects, the impact of mobile phones, etc., the realization is there, and you can't replace a physical toy with an online YouTube video or online gaming. So I'm not so pessimistic about it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Jain sir, my name is Krishna. I'm from Kolhapur. So as you mentioned, Indian parents will rather provide books to their kids rather than toys.
In the past,
Okay.
I don't think anymore. The new generation is
So,
buying for their kids.
So my question is, what are the marketing strategies to showcase the product?
Yes, so there probably was hardly any news about a toy fair in India, and now there are so many toy fairs that it's a challenge for people like us now that which toy fair to choose. So first thing is that there's so much of promotion happening by the government being done. There's so many news articles being every now and then you read talking about toy industry growth, etc. And I think post-COVID, during COVID, obviously, it was a bad time for kids staying at home even and watching nothing but cell phones and television. So the parents also were frustrated during those times, and now therefore post-COVID we are seeing that post-COVID the sales have increased. Hamleys retail store, for example, the number of stores they are opening every month, they are opening one store. So if they are opening a store every month, it indicates that the toys are selling. We are back to selling. Yeah. Yes.
Jain sir, Pranav from Pune. I have very little knowledge about this industry, sir, but plastic has always fascinated me. So, sir, it makes me wonder that, sir, will induction molding will get replaced by 3D printing as you are in the manufacturing? So, in future, can this happen, sir?
Injection molding.
Will get replaced by 3D printing technologies.
3D printing is very expensive still, and what 3D printing is done using some special materials which are much expensive than the materials that are used by us. So for some time I don't think so, but in general, plastic industry in general is definitely going to go through some turmoil. We are also exploring different plastic options, environment friendly options, because I'm pretty sure that the current materials that are being used, the policies of the government, they will change in the near future. So there are customers, when we go and talk to them, one of the first things that they ask us is that, have you worked on alternative materials, sustainable materials? So I think 3D printing cannot replace because the technology is still very expensive. The cost of product will be very high, but materials have to be definitely thought about. Yeah, sustainable materials.
Jain sir, my name is Nirupam Sharma. I'm from Panna. So as you mentioned, Chinese toy industry is the biggest challenges and competitor of our Indian toy industry. So I want to know, if Indians want to buy cheaper, and Chinese give the cheaper toys in comparison to Indian toy industry. So I want to know, Indian toy industry, how overcome on these challenges and.
Yeah, economies of scale. China is able to make things cheap because it has volumes. Because it has volumes, it was able to make money. And because it made money, it invested in automation. It invested in things which can make the product cheaper. China also uses alternate methods to make things cheap, such as poor materials. At least India doesn't do that. I'm aware of the industry, but we are not following the path of the Chinese in terms of poor grades of materials. The government is taking stringent actions and creating deterrents to avoid usage of toxic materials. But India will be eventually we will get there when the whole thing builds and creates an economies of scale. We are, after all, a 1.5 billion moving to 3 billion compared with 60-70 billion of China. So the more money you get, the more money you put. So the more money manufacturers in India, the industry makes, the more it will put. The more it will put, the more it will invest in technology, the more it will start becoming cheaper and cheaper and cheaper.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Yes.
Jain sir, I am Tanuj Agarwal. So I want to know that many industries are now focusing on sustainable growth. And how will it be applied in this toy industry? Because the parts that are used are batteries and plastic and many other parts. So how will exactly be applied in this industry?
Yeah. At first, the raw materials, so sustainable raw materials. For example, people have already started exploring. We are also started in our headquarters in Italy. They have started experimenting on recyclable PET material, rPET. It is called as rPET. Some are going to RPP, polypropylene, recyclable polypropylene. So on the material side is happening. A toy, about 30% to 40% of the cost of a toy is plastic. About 30% plus is the cost of paper. So the paper is the packaging. It is. Please realize that what a child or a parent throws away in a minute, you bring home the toy, in a couple of minutes the whole packaging is thrown away. It is 30% of the cost of the product. But that paper, which is used for that whole all packaging is paper. So there is a certification which is called as FSC, Forest something Council, which means that the supply chain of paper, or the entire chain, starting from the forest to the consumer, which means the forest, from the guy who is going to the forest to cut to buy the trees. The trees are converted into pulp. The pulp is converted into paper. All these factories are certified FSC. So FSC certification by inference means that you are protecting the environment, because everybody in the supply chain of this process is buying from ultimately the buying is happening from a forest which is FSC certified. Ultimate goal is to buy paper or buy from the forest which is FSC, which means that forest, if it's cutting 10, it is probably planting 50. That's why FSC. So 60-70% by doing these two, let's say by investing into these two actions, will help sustainability. Yeah. Yeah, digital ultraviolet printing. So we are developing a product for a customer. Coincidentally, it is Hamleys. These are cars, small little cars like the Hot Wheels cars, but made of plastic. So rather, we are using this equipment, this new technology, which is digital UV printing, with the help of which we can reduce the um the usage of ink. So the ink utilization is reduced, and it's more technologically advanced. It's an automatic operation. So this is one example. All right, I think. Yes, please.
How much Hamleys will charge when you put your products in the Hamleys store?
A very clever question. Yeah, this is a tragedy for manufacturers. Actually, you have hit it where it hits most. So it's a this is a sentimental question, because if we sell a product for 100, you saw in my slide, there are so many people involved in the whole chain.
Yes, sir.
Everybody makes money, and the manufacturer is the one who makes the least, because he's the one which is squeezed. So if I sell 100, if I make for 100, you will be buying at 500. Or rather the opposite. If you are buying some toy at 500 from a Hamlet store, keep in mind that the manufacturer is only getting 100. There's so many people who make the margins in between. We sell to a distributor, the distributor will sell to a retailer. But I'm sure everybody has have their costs. But our business is manufacturing. The others are doing services. Either they are retailing it, or they are distributing it. They are not adding value. There's no added value anywhere, because when the product comes out of a factory, it is the final product. There's no value add. But it becomes 100. From 100, it becomes to 500. Their rentals of shops are very high. So the whole retail thing is built on a basis of discounting, off-season discounting methods, so gross margin protection. I'm not familiar, I'm not from that sector, so I don't know much, but what I know is very clear. Or how do I know it? Because when I'm given a product to quote, the customer, I ask the customer, how much do you want to sell it for? So if he tells me 1,000, I know what is my target price. I automatically calculate.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Jain sir, myself Soumya really. Sir, one question behind these toys and these. Sir, in manufacturing industries, there are some workers, employers. So there's my question that how you appreciate their works, the strategies to appreciate them. This is the important thing in industry.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying.
Very important. And we had your an intern who worked in HR department. So later on, you can ask her in detail also. Archita. Sonali. But yeah, we have different schemes, reward and recognition schemes. We have employee engagement activities going around the year. We have a calendar for employee engagement. We have a PMS, so promotion scheme, annual increments, 5-year award, good service award, spot bonus systems. So several schemes we have to appreciate and recognize.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Rightly said, sir. Life goes up in the ladder, and I'm sure the students present over here would have been highly inspired to follow that ladder. Thank you so much, sir, for your knowledgeable session, and we look forward to your next visit to our campus again.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. All the best.